Good evening, everyone. This is Coach Green, and welcome to another episode of Greens Gridiron Exchange. Can't wait to get this week off. This is week 3, but we do have a preview two of all the games, all the matchups. So I'm gonna bring in my co-host Royce Willer of Pinellas High Media Group, and we're gonna talk about this thing, man, as well as the NDV, man. Welcome to the show, guys.
Definitely. What's going on? Yeah, I will definitely fix that. It is week 3. And yeah, we definitely ready for some action, man. This was a very interesting week. So I'm excited that we got to, see some new teams into our top 10. And we got some good Pinellas County football. It's not stale. So very happy with this past week. What about you, Andy?
Yeah, some surprising results. Some things definitely didn't see coming. Largo beating Lakewood. Didn't have that on my Pinellas County bingo card of things to happen here early on in the season. So that was surprising. Tarpon Springs upending Palm Harbor U, exacting a little bit of revenge from back in the spring. I think that was something the Spongers they kind of had that week 2 date with them marked down on the calendar. The moment they saw that Clash of the Coast, they probably wanted to get back at them. St. Pete, real close call. Picking up a very narrow win. Clearwater falling to Wiregrass Ranch. I mean, that kind of went down the way. I mean, I thought that was going to be real close, and it was real close. So I mean, a lot of things unexpected, but some things expected.
Definitely, man. So we gonna get right down to it. A lot of shakeup in our top 10. So we'll go ahead and start off with our media poll, our combined media poll. Very interesting, man. We got St. Peter number 2. Who would have thought? Like that's crazy. I mean, hey, I did have them there. You guys had them up there. Hey, but they were up there. You know what I'm saying? So to see them at number 2, that's very welcoming. That's very good to see. See how they hold on to that spot. What really were your changes in the top 10 this week as far as your personal top 10s, and what made you guys put St. Peter? I didn't have St. Peter number 2, but what both of you guys actually did. So what did you made you guys put St. Peter number 2 over Clear? Hold on, did you guys both of you had St. Peter number 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what made you put them above a Tarpon Springs that was already ranked a little bit high?
Well, I'll take the floor. I had them ranked at number 2 just for the simple fact that outside of the playoff game that they lost to the Tampa team, from Pinellas County standpoint, I think they won like 8 in a row, somewhere on that standpoint. And from week to week, it seems like they're consistently getting better. They had their first test this of a good formidable opponent in Bogey. This was their first test, and they passed that test. And like I said, with the schedule going forward, and that's how I kind of rated a lot of the teams based on like what they have in front of them and what they've proven in these first couple of first 2 weeks. I know it's still early, but when you look at how the teams are pairing themselves and you look at the talent that each team has, you can almost see which teams are going to continue to rise just based on who they got left to play and what they bring to the table. So that was one of the reasons why I had St. Pete moving all the way up, jumping up, and a plus with the teams that lost. I think they're one of the best 2-team undefeated teams that's left.
Definitely. What about you, Andrew? What did you see at St. Pete number 2 over, like I said, over Tarpon Springs? And I mean, Largo is of course creeping up, but yeah, what made you put St. Pete over Tarpon?
Well, I mean, just looking at what St. Pete has done over these first couple of weeks, and just the improving passing game. Obviously, a nice win over a just talented Boca Ciega squad. To me, Clearwater, yeah, it's hard. It's hard to ding them for a 2-point loss, right? But to me, you're at home. Yes, Wiregrass is really good, but you're really good too. So, I mean, in that kind of matchup, you expect them to kind of defend the home turf at Jack White. win that game, continue on to 2-0. I mean, like to see these two teams play St. Pete and Clearwater. I feel like that would be, a really good matchup. Obviously, 2 versus 3. Tarpon Springs, I think the jury's still out. I mean, they're obviously, for me, around that middle of the pack, but I mean, they got some games coming up where they're really going to be tested in terms of, that undefeated mark that they have right now. I think this Thursday night is going to be the start, and my dog's going crazy.
All good, all good. Well, yeah, man. I mean, I welcome St. Peter number 2. I think they're definitely worthy of it. So it's to me, it's definitely not a bad addition. I just, I like Tarpon right now, but honestly, I think if they played each other, it would be a very tough game. I can't see Joaquin, just from what I've seen the last couple of weeks, it doesn't look like he's putting up the numbers. I'm not seeing the accuracy there or the completion rate real high. I think that St. Pete's defense, their secondary is very underrated with Mr. Tank back there. Like I said, you got J.J. Mercer. He's very underrated, who came over from Bogey. So I honestly think St. Pete probably could, they would give Tarpon Springs a good run for their money. Tarpon Springs stopping Jeff Jones, that's not something I can sit here and say I could see. So I definitely welcome St. Peter number 2. I know Clearwater. I watched that game. There was a play in the second half where Jalen White threw a bomb 60, and it was dropped wide open, man. And Clearwater should have won that game. It wasn't Wiregrass Ranch. From what I saw, Clearwater really should have won that game. So I welcome, even though Clearwater's not number 3 in my book still, I welcome Clearwater. Yeah, there was the bomb was on the money and it was dropped in the end zone wide open. So I really think Clearwater should be 2-0 right now. So I love them in number 3. Tarpon Springs in number 4. What you guys think about Largo?
I got a chance to.
You saw it.
Yeah, I got a chance to watch Largo in person, and defensively, they remind me of how Lakewood is right now. Defensively, they are as solid as any team in the county. Offensively, it seems like they're still trying to get their identity. Their quarterback, he's not a guy that's going to beat you with his arm. So they're going to do a lot of screens, a lot of Wildcat with Anthony Harris. It's not going to be anything that they're going to open it up, And so from that standpoint, that game was close. And in my opinion, it could have went either way. Both teams got down in the red zone and just couldn't put up points. Lakewood missed a field goal in the red zone and got down there again in the fourth quarter and didn't attempt a field goal that could have made the game 10-7. And that game was looking like it was going to go into overtime. And with 51 seconds left, Lakewood was getting ready to punt, and the ball went between the legs of the punter. Instead of him trying to pick it up and run it and try to make a play, he's been watching college football and pro, and he kicked it out of the back of the end zone.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah. So with 50-something seconds left, it was fourth down, and they snapped it, and it went between his legs.
Oh.
So the punter trying to run and chase the ball down and pick it up and probably make a play, at least run the timeout. He kicked it out of the back of the end zone, not really realizing that those 2 points, you don't get the ball back. And so Lakewood, of course, had to kick it back off to Largo, and they just kneeled it out. So that's how that game ended. But again, defensively, they are as solid as any team in the area. And then both, it was equal because both teams had players out that could have made a difference. Lakewood started running back, one of their starting receivers, and one of their defensive tackles all was out. Largo had a starting safety out, and Townsend, running back, was out. So they were missing some pieces too. So from that standpoint, they both had injury issues. So it was an even matchup from that standpoint. So But I have Largo there because number one, they're undefeated. They beat a tough Pinellas Park team, and then they traveled south and beat a solid Lakewood team. So that's why they moved up in my book.
Definitely. And I mean, I can run the replay back last week when I said special teams. I literally, and it's crazy. I said that's been our hold up, the last 5 seasons. The Lakewood's hold up, and for it when I saw the first field goal miss, I saw your boy grabbed his helmet before he even before I see the results of the field goal, and I was like, oh man, it's early. That might not come back to bite him. And it did. That was 3 points. Lost by 2. You know what I'm saying? So that's been the main hold up with Lakewood. I don't know whether it's just everything gets love except that. I don't know if that's the case. But I mean, even for the last 5 seasons, I mean, the smallest things, gets the big teams, special teams. So hopefully that's something they could get together, man, because they should be 2-0 right now. But shout out to Largo. I didn't get the chance to see the Cavalry game except the score. I know Andy told me that the First Baptist was good, but that wasn't expected from Calvary. What did you seen First? You said you didn't see First Baptist recently, did you, Andy?
No, I just know that they've been one of Southwest Florida's top teams here the last couple of years. I mean, heading into this season, they're kind of breaking in a younger quarterback, a 2028 kid, but still got weapons. I mean, they still got weapons across the board. Got a Jaden Pettit kid that is a heck of a wide receiver for them. And the Lions are just, a couple of years removed from winning a state championship in Class 1 Suburban. So, I mean, this is a team that I knew would be a tough test for Calvary. I can't remember who I ended up just rolling with, but I mean,
I think we all picked Calvary, honestly.
Yeah,
I was going off that hot hand. You guys were very high on them. For me, I'm still kind of wondering what Calvary is. I know they had a strong week 1 showing, but to me, like, to be of an upper echelon type team, I mean, that was a team that is at that level, and it shows. I mean, Coach Safford's got them, kind of moving in the right direction, but they're not of that. CCC type level. It shows Calvary's kind of right there with the kind of between that 2 and 6 spots right in there. I think that's where they're going to hang throughout the year is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'd be surprised if they dropped below that 6 spot, but I just don't think they're going to. I don't think it'll be anything like the past couple of years, and that's hard to kind of replicate is what they did the past couple of years. And when you lose your running back, I don't care how many other dudes you got on the outside. I mean, I know they got, I think you guys mentioned the Nelson kid, Austin Ho. I mean, they got some dudes, but that's hard. 1,500 plus yard back. I just covered Venice, Miami Northwestern, and I mean, Northwestern threw for almost 400 yards. I know the sexy thing to do now is to throw the ball everywhere, but it was Venice that won the game, and their running back went for over 300 yards. The ball still won between the tackles.
Yeah, definitely, man. I think Calvary. Yeah, you hit it on the head. I mean, it's a lot of questions over there, man. What you was gonna say, Green? My bad.
No, I was going to ask what was the final score of that Calvary game? Calvary
31-7.
31-7.
Was it 41-7 or 31?
31.
31-7.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be interested to go back and see what was the because I know the reason why we were all both me and Royce was high on Calvary is because traditionally they're always solid defensively. They always have a good group that runs to the ball. They're always sound in the secondary, and they always have 11 men that run to the ball and make fundamental plays. So to see them give up 31 points at home is like you say, Andy, it's an eye opener for number one, and then number two, what was the formula that they use, because even the state champions last season that they lost to, remember they lost to Berkeley Prep, and I think in like the second round, just barely beat them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious to see what was the formula that First Baptist used, and maybe they just had the better athletes, but somebody's going to take that blueprint. They're going to watch that film and try to duplicate that blueprint.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I think thing about Calvary, we're used to seeing all that speed on that turf. Kono, Robinson, both gone. Those are that's you're talking about 2,500, 3,000 yards a season. That's and hoping that Sparrow and Camden Smith and these other guys make up for that in Austin Hope, and hoping they make up for that. So yeah, it might be some tough sledding ahead for Calvary coming up. I know one thing. After that Chaminade Madonna loss, I like CCC to win state. What about you, Andy?
Man, most surprising that if we're talking about the state, that was probably the most surprising thing I saw probably of the last 3 years, really. Just seeing that score come across on my phone, was unbelievable. Blanche Ely, and no disrespect on them. I mean, obviously you got to be a pretty decent team to beat Chaminade. So I'm not going to sit there and say those guys are diminished in any way. They got a real good quarterback in Amari McNeil over there, but Chaminade 0-2, first time since 2017. If you're CCC, going back on Pinellas County focus, if you're in search of a team that could be that team to raise to find the holy grail of the first state championship in county history, this could be Coach Harvey's best chance ever, because you got a Lions team. I mean, this week they got to play Plantation American Heritage with Diabell, Texas commit. They're feeling good about themselves. They just beat a Western team that a lot of people like down in South Florida, 51-12. So you got Chaminade 0-2, not really feeling. I mean, I know they got the South Florida way down there. They're always kind of feeling themselves in terms of how good they are, but I don't care what kind of 0-2 you are. You're probably not as perky at 0-2 as you probably would be at 2-0. And if you're CCC coming off of that 43-8 tail whooping of Sebring, which, obviously Coach Harvey and LeVar Scott of Sebring, they're both perking guys. So a lot of respect on both ends, but still, for what the Marauders did, this is really it could be the year. It could be.
Yeah, definitely. Just seeing that come across my screen, very surprising. And CCC, I mean, all this experience, this championship experience, I definitely think this is best shot. I love to see them playing against a competitive Chaminade. I really want to see them beat a competitive Chaminade. But either way, right now, just for what I'm saying. But the thing about 0-2 and a Chaminade team, that might be the catalyst that takes off for the rest of the season for them. They got that type of talent. So I'm definitely anticipating the next 3 weeks. Chaminade, these next 3 weeks, I think they're either going to beat teams bad, or it's either going to be some average stuff, and it'll really shape out. What you think, Green? I don't know if you saw that Chaminade score or
yeah, I saw. My son sent it to me with the eyes looking. But I would say to that, I don't know if you guys saw the kickoff week. They played St. John Bosco, California, and that team looked like a Florida team, and Chaminade matched them like speed for speed, and you can see the like just that small separation that caused them to lose. But I just know, and we all know, that the talent in South Florida is a little different. So that LA team that they just lost to would probably beat any team in Pinellas County.
Mm-hmm.
So my saying and my thought process behind that is that every team that's on Chamade's schedule is going to give them their best game. And so it's hard to sustain being, because if you go back into history, when was the last time they lost a game outside of out of state team?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So eventually it was going to come, but you know, just to say like, you know, things are changing, man. And so, you know, like you say, Clearwater Central Catholic should be licking their chops. Then, man, like this could definitely be our year. So it'll be interesting to see how things shape out and how far they can go. CCC.
It's something to know, and I tell people, Chaminade of the last couple of years, they spoiled everybody. I mean, when you got to see them, it's like seeing the Golden State Warriors in their heyday. You know, go around to all these arenas. I mean, you wanted to go out and see the Splash Brothers, and Draymond and all these guys. Chaminade was that of the high school level. I mean, people came from far or near to get a glimpse of this high school offense that featured. I mean, heck. True freshman Jeremiah Smith, the guy that you probably saw last year, catching all kinds of touchdowns for Chaminade. He started yesterday. Freshman. How many true freshmen are the number one receiver, not just on a college team, the Ohio State Buckeyes of all teams? He hauled in 4 passes for 92 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a 52-6 win over Akron. So it can't be understood how talented that Chaminade team was of the last couple years. And when I say this Chaminade team isn't that Chaminade team of the last 2 years, it's really no knock on these guys, because, I mean, how are you going to replicate that? You literally were at the very top. If we're talking about a ceiling, I mean, they were sitting on top of it. So, I mean, they were just an unbelievable group, and to be better than that team or be as good as them, I mean, it's nothing more than delusional or unrealistic. There's no way. CCC's I think they got a much more realistic shot. Green's right. I mean, he did just come toe-to-toe with St. John Bosco, and that's a really good team too. But I think Chaminade is used to things being a little bit easier, and I think things are going to be a little bit tougher. And that's just because they're not as good as they have been in the last couple of years.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I agree with you guys. We got number 7, Lakewood, 1-1. We just talked about that. Pinellas Park coming in. No, Pinellas Park is actually 2-0, so I got to correct that. Hold on. Is it Pinellas Park? Lost to Largo, so they are 1-1. I think Pinellas Park, man, as usual, I think they're just them and Largo. They are the spoiler teams, man. Them Largo and Osceola. I think Osceola is one of those teams where they always a spoiler team. Like, you got to come, you can't halfway play them. So I love Pinellas Park. I think they're going to stay between that 5 and 10 range. Yeah. But I love Pinellas Park, and of course we got. But what? So of course we saw Bogey with a close loss. So what do you guys? I didn't get to watch or anything, but do you think that? I mean, we talked about it last week. It was all about how they lost. There's some rumors going out that Bogey might have been cheated. Yeah. So I guess they proven themselves. But they got to play Largo this week. So that's gonna be a game, and then we got Osceola 2-0. What you guys think about those last 3?
Yeah, so I moved Bogosiega up for a couple of reasons. Is because I think that there'll be a squad that hangs around like a Pinellas Park, and with that close, that loss, they showed that they can hang with our number 2 team. And just imagine if that game had went the other way, they would be sitting. You know what I'm saying? 2-0 and knocked off St. Pete. So I just think that game gave them confidence that now they can play with anybody, because they last year and in years prior, I think they went into a game thinking, let's just hang with this team and see where we can go. But now I think the attitude, and from hearing the guys, they going into each game thinking they can win games. And so I think that's the biggest thing that I see. I see the just the confidence in the team that has the pieces They have the coaching, they have the athletes, and I wouldn't be surprised. You know, when you look at the teams that's ahead of them, they're evenly matched. So right now, Bogey, right now, it's going to be a toss up with them in Largo. It's going to be a toss up with them in Lakewood. It'll be a toss up with them in Pinellas Park. And so right now, if you can't say who you think would win that game right now against the teams, then you got to put them in the mix with the teams until, like we say, the records put themselves out.
Right, definitely. What about you, Andy? What you think about those last three?
Well, I like Boca Ciega being there. Like Green tested too. I mean, whenever you could play with the number 2 team in a poll, I mean, how much are you going to ding them, right? I mean, they're right there. And I know Clearwater's like, well, heck, we lost to Wiregrass Ranch. Well, I mean, I don't know where they would fall on this list. I mean, they could be middle of the pack. They could, you know, who knows? But Pinellas Park, to me, I'm not totally surprised that they won. I was surprised at the way they won and dominating. That was surprising to me, just the way they won by 32 points over Eastlake. To me, what the heck's going on over at Eastlake? And how many times, you know, what's the winning streak for the Eagles over Tarpon Springs? Because I think this year it's threatened. I mean, big time. If they don't, only a couple years.
Oh, that win streak for Eastlake is I don't know. I don't actually.
I think it's got to be dating back well over a decade for Eastlake over Tarpon. I really can't think of that last time. I was gonna research that and find out when was the last time Tarpon Springs beat Eastlake. I mean, was it back when Adrian Bubba Golden was a senior in that backfield with Hardy? To me, like, that might have been a team that could have beaten Eastlake that year, just because that was a pretty good Tarpon team. But I don't know. I can't really think of a Tarpon team after that I was like, yeah, they probably beat Eastlake. Like, no, they probably lost to Eastlake every year after 2009. So we could be talking about losses dating back almost 20 years. So
it says the last time. Oh, Tarpon beat them last year, 27-20.
Tarpon beat Eastlake?
Yeah, 27-20.
Wow, I had no clue. Then tells you how much I knew about that rivalry. I thought.
Oh no, you know what? That was 2022. 2023, Tarpon Springs lost to Eastlake 16-21. So Tarpon Springs beat them 2022.
Really?
Okay. Eastlake, they sitting 0-3 right now, huh?
0-3.
Oh, well, I don't know if that 1-2. I don't know if that game before. I know you mentioned it counted.
Yeah.
But yeah.
The Zephyr Hills game?
Yeah, I don't think the Zephyr Hills game counted because Zephyr Hills doesn't count it on their record. Mm-hmm. So, Osceola, I mean, nice win over Dunedin on a Thursday night, shutting them out. I think they're going to give Tarpon Springs a run for their money. I really do. I think when you look at Seminole gave Tarpon a run, you know, up until kind of like in the second half at one point. I think, Royce, you made some good points about, you know, just kind of like quarterback play hasn't been exactly what I think we thought it might be. Osceola is going to be tough at home. I don't think they're going to be a team easily, I just don't think they're going to be an easy win at their place. So Tarpon, if they can win there, we can continue to keep looking at it. But I don't know. I think Tarpon is going to have a tough time with Osceola.
Definitely. It wouldn't. So it looks like the game is actually, it's going to be Osceola at home. So, so that's going to be, right now, Osceola has, they've got this young kid, Brent Scott, who is, I think he's the county's leading rusher right now. And he's doing his thing, man. And 314 yards so far, 43 carries. I think he's going to be probably, Osceola's a solid team, so he's going to be a solid 1,000 yards, maybe it's solid, 1,500. And he's looking good. So, I love Osceola. They have Dylan back there at DB. He's been making plays. They're them and Seminole. Mm-hmm. Seminole's definitely on that bubble. Seminole's definitely on that bubble, man. But them and Seminole, P-Part, those are teams that just have that heart, they that culture, that you just can't, you cannot sleep on that. So I definitely look forward to I look forward to seeing them play. So let's go ahead and jump into our games this week. We have number one CCC at Tampa Catholic, man. CCC, that's one thing you cannot say they play a weak schedule. Right. You can't. That's one thing you cannot say about them. That's why they're number one. They show up every time. I have not got to see Tampa Catholic play. Is that where the young kid Balloon plays for? Does he play for? Is that where I want to say? Where Reggie Balloon is that his name? Is that Josh Balloon Jr.? I want to say the speedster. Is that? I think he's at Tampa Catholic, right? Andy?
I'm not sure. I do know Tampa Catholic lost 55-12 to Bishop Verot last week. So I mean, yeah, early looks on that game. I think if CCC's playing the way they are right now, I think we'll be talking about a game that probably ends in about 2.5 hours.
So I haven't gotten a chance to see Tampa Catholic historically. We talk about a good team historically. So of course, but we got to roll with CCC. I really don't see. I really don't see that. I haven't gotten to see Tampa Catholic play, but CCC has all the experience. They have every tool in the toolbox plus more. So I love CCC. What about you, Green?
Yeah, man, I was at the game, and it was just kind of like a lackluster, game at Lakewood. So I'm checking the scores, and it was early. I don't know if y'all saw it, but it was like 16 to like 8 or something. And I'm like, man, this team is really giving CCC a run for its money. And then I check back, and it's like 21, and then I check back again, and it's like 32. Then the final score, I'm like, dang, they just ran away with it. So. CCC just continues to prove again why they're number one. And because I don't know about Tampa Catholic, I'm gonna stick with what I know. You know what I mean? So I'll stay with my with the Marauders on this one. Andy?
Yeah, I got to roll with CCC. I think they're just taking a look at their schedule. I wanted to take a peek at it. I really. This kind of begins a stretch of probably, I want to say 4 more games, or starts a 5-game stretch where I don't think they get tested with Tampa Catholic. Sorry, Clearwater. I think CCC is going to roll in that one. Trinity Catholic's not what they have been in the past. Indian Rocks and Northside Christian. I mean, I'm sorry, they're gonna beat those teams. I think the last 2 of the last 3, Venice at home. And then St. Francis Academy out of Baltimore. That's a nationally ranked team. Those are 2 teams CCC will absolutely be tested. But these next few, CCC rolls each one. I'd say, mark my words. You could record this. If one of those teams beats CCC, my goodness, I'll do a live apology and everything.
Okay, definitely, man. Let's see who we got next. We got number 2, St. Pete, against Eastlake. I mean, I'm gonna be real, man. I saw a play where Cade Nobles, where Eastlake caught the ball. I mean, the player was down the field. I don't know if you guys saw it, but Cade Nobles was just walking. And I was, oh man, where's the? It was a few plays I just did not see any team speed. And the experience may not be there. They had last few years they were good in the trenches on the line. They were solid. No Brody Church, of course, he's at CCC now, so I'm pretty sure they were going to expect to build around him and Mirabella. So it might be some tough going for Eastlake, man. I'm hoping. I mean, week 3 they might be 0-3 heading to week 4. I mean, it's a great chance. It's looking like so. I love St. Pete. I think St. Pete is just getting better. About a week. A lot of players haven't been featured from St. Pete. They got this kid, Ben Cubito. He's been an interception maker. Of course, you got Tank, you got Christopher Tank, you got Sloan. Like I say, JJ Mercer, Trent Haas. They have a lot of playmakers that really are going to be utilized in playoffs. As long as Jeff Jones can flick that rock, they'll be good to go. So I like St. Pete.
Yeah, I like St. Pete as well. Just for the reasons why you mentioned, and you know, I think they had their confidence like last year when they got in the playoffs. You know, being able to hang with the team and just being able to get to that as far as they did last year, and then continuing on the success. You know, they brought a lot of their players back. A lot of the guys have bought into the coach and in the culture there at St. Pete. And when you have guys that buy in and for each other, it's a difference. And I think that's the biggest difference over at St. Pete. They're all playing for each other. They're all bought into the culture and the system, and it's showing up every Friday night. It's showing. So I like St. Pete.
What about you, Andy?
St. Pete rolls. Roll on this one. To me, in a game like this, South County versus North County, I mean, it's been tough for Eastlake. Camden County loss was brutal. Pinellas Park, that became even, just as brutal. It's just they got back into the county. They're going to have to show that they have some semblance of life before, I can really get back on having a more, I guess, more optimism for them. They're going to have to show something. So, St. Pete.
All right. Let's get to our next one. Let's see. Got number 3, Clearwater. Number 7, Lakewood. This might be the game of the week. Man. I know this much. What I saw on tape from Clearwater, I saw a lot of weaknesses. I saw a lot of things that could be exploited. Line huge. Man, but there were times where that quarterback from Wild Grand Smash was making it look easy. I mean, it was one touch. When I first tuned in, there was one touchdown that just looked like it was just a practice touch. I mean, he rolled out just a simple pattern to the end zone. I mean, and the guy was wide open. I think that if Lakewood watches that film and really does what they can do what they can do, they can win. But Clearwater, man, I mean, like I said, outside of that drop bomb, I think Clearwater should have won. Ooh, this is a tough one to call, man. But I think those trenches are gonna be major, and the boys Noel Brown and them, man, they're gonna be coming. I think it's gonna be a close one. I'm gonna pick Clearwater on this one.
No. Andy, you want to go or you want me to go?
I'll say I'll piggyback with Royce. I think Clearwater they'll pick up the win here. Lakewood, I mean, they played really good defensively. My thing with them is where's the offense? It just hasn't been there the first couple of weeks. So yes, it's a work in progress. I know Green mentioned last week they're kind of working in this new system. Sounds like, I mean, whenever you mention a NFL team and a high school team, to me, it's going to be tough if you're trying to learn something that is a variation of something they do on that level. It's intricate. So Clearwater, though, I think things are a little bit probably more cohesive with their offense, and if it's coming down to the line of scrimmage, I mean, Clearwater's got one of the top offensive linemen in the Tampa Bay region. So behind, I think that's big number 64 there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They got another big guy, Jamar Jackson. A lot of people don't talk about. They just big, man. And like I say, Noel Brown is he's one of those players, man. They're just big. So Lakewood's offensive line, they could show up and give Aiden some time. I like them. I like them to keep up in the game. Special teams. Can we get some picks? That's what it is. For Lakewood, it's just the special team. So, what about you, Green? Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was going to say, this one is going to be a game of which coach comes and really coach and takes advantage of the mismatches and also being able to capitalize in the red zone. Like Andy alluded to, the offense just has been inept. In the last 2 games, they scored 20 points. 13 against Northeast, 7 last week. And, I can contribute it to both. Last week they didn't have any practice. The Lightning kept them off the field all week, so it was basically a walkthrough type practice all week. Wednesday was cut short, maybe, right, and then Thursday was a walkthrough. So Monday, Tuesday, Lightning, Wednesday JV game, Thursday walkthrough, Friday game. A lot of guys was cramping up, that weather. But long story short, with them being away on the road, I'm pretty sure Clearwater plays a lot better at home. They've already been battle tested with the Wiregrass Ranch. They have a bad taste in their mouth, and I think Clearwater's going to take this one from just because with the defense and Lakewood not being able to put up points. I don't see that just automatically happening in 1 week.
Right.
So
right.
I one on this one.
Yeah, that's the thing about Lakewood, though, man. You can get a different Lakewood. That's the reason why I'm like, okay, I'm still kind of holding them. Like, if they could show up like they're supposed to, I mean, this could be a real game. When I marked this game down as a game of the week because I think Lakewood could show up. So, but like I say, Clearwater, man, they're lit. They're lit over there. So it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be barn burner. That's gonna be definitely our game of the week. Then we got number 10 Osceola and number 4 Tarpon Springs. Like I say, Brent Scott has been on a small tear carrying that ball. I think this will be an opportunity for players like Gavin Galish to really show up and show people that he's a solid quarterback, because I think he is a solid quarterback. It's just, Osceola doesn't get that. They don't get that. I'm not going to say camera time, but they don't get that love around the county like everyone does. But, I mean, historically, Osceola is going to show up, and I think that we're going to see a lot of players that we haven't heard of. I'm looking forward to this game. Good chance I'm going to go to it. And, I really don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and ride. I'm gonna go ahead and ride with Tarpon in a close one, but it wouldn't surprise me if Osceola eats it out. And then, they're what Palm Harbor, was to Tarpon Springs, the last couple of years. So I like Tarpon, but it wouldn't surprise me Osceola. What you guys think?
Yeah, I think Osceola is a good team, but they're just not there yet. The two teams that they did beat.
Right.
Slight to them, but I don't think they have the barrage of athletes that Tarpon Springs has. I don't think they faced a triplet. I don't think they've had to guard a Makai Johnson. I don't think they've had to guard a Jeffries. You know what I'm saying? And all these weapons coming at you consistently. Series after series. Eventually, somebody's gonna break free, wide open. Eventually a big run here and there. I just like Tarpon Springs just because of the athletes that they have. I think that will be the difference making this one.
Okay. What about you, Andy?
Oof, man, wish we could just give it a coin toss. I think it's that close. Really do. I think Tarpon wins in a close one. I thought the game was at Osceola, but if I'm wrong, I mean, that's good for me because I'm right there. But yeah, I mean, if it's at Tarpon, I definitely give them more of the edge just because.
It's Osceola, yep.
Oh, it's at Osceola. Okay. Well, something I think I noticed with the film or some of the clips I saw with the Seminole game, and I think people underscore it because they're like, "Oh, it doesn't matter." I mean, but playing surfaces, I think, do matter a little bit. When you, like Green said, they practice against each other, but when you're the home team and you're playing on natural grass, we all know grass. If all you do is play on turf, you're going to slow down a little bit, and you're just not as crisp as you would like to be as you were on that turf. Because turf, fast game, makes everything. If it was Osceola at Tarpon, give it to Tarpon, absolutely. I think kind of the wild card and the kind of the low key part of this is they got to go play on grass, and they're probably not always really trying to practice on the grass They might be using that little side practice field that they got right by the baseball field. They're probably using that a lot. They're going to be using it this week because you're not going to want to practice on that game field because you're not playing on turf. So if you're just wanting to practice on it because it looks nice and it's better than being on grass, well, good. But honestly, they should be off on that little grass field, getting themselves acquainted to a game that isn't going to be as fast. But I'll give the edge to Tarpon, but I'm with you, Royce. It would not surprise me in the little at all if Osceola won.
Right, and the way the weather's been lately, oh man,
Exactly.
Raining, and it could be really that field could get real nasty. You know what I'm saying? And Osceola's the next team. That's what they're prepared for. So it's definitely a game I'm looking forward to. Let's see. We got Bishop Verot versus number 6 Calvary. Can Calvary bounce back? I'll let you guys take this one. I haven't seen Bishop Verot.
Yeah. No.
They will not bounce back. I'm sorry. I apologize to the Pinellas-based people, but this will be even more over than the First Baptist game. If you thought the First Baptist game was bad, I think this will be even tougher. I mean, you're facing Michigan commit Carter Smith. You got Deshaun Jenkins in the backfield next to him. Those are two dogs. I mean, those guys are real talented guys. I mean, you're talking 4-star type dudes. They just beat up on Tampa Catholic 55.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Bishop Verot, I think this week plays Venice, I think. But
they don't. Hold on, they're not. Oh, that might be. See, I'm all off. Hold on, that might be on me. Let me see. Let's see.
Not to say I don't think these guys don't play each other during the season. I think they do, but I just don't know if it's.
Yeah, I see. Let me see. That might be on me. Let's see. The schedule shows, and it might be they have a bye week. You know what? Calvary has a bye week. So let me go ahead. They do play Bishop Verot next.
Okay, so that's their next game. Okay. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess my in the future prediction is obvious. Bishop Verot.
Oh man, okay, so let's go ahead and pull up a current. Okay, now we got Largo and Bogey. I mean, what you think, Green? You seen Largo up front?
Yeah,
and they won. They beat a team, like you say, with a lot of injuries. So I'm pretty sure this is gonna be. The thing about Bogey is, I mean, as long as Dylan Nara shows up, I like Bogey. As long as Dylan Nara can show up, I like Bogey. They have the athletes. They have on both sides. So I think with Bogey at home, I think it's gonna be very tight, just like the P Park game, and I think Bogey will pull it up. But you know what? Let me stop that because I've been doing that to Largo the last 2 weeks. So let me stop, man. I got to stop, man.
Yeah, pump your brakes a little.
Largo, I love y'all, man. Because I can't keep doing them like that, man. I got to get to show these guys some love, man. So I don't know. I'm just gonna be mom on this one. What you guys think, man?
Yeah, it was real interesting. I kind of sat and listened to Coach Pascal as he brought the guys up, and one of the things he kept preaching to them was allow the people to keep counting us out. Mm-hmm. I think listen to the show, and if he does, man,
I'm pretty sure.
Royce, he just said they just took care of another opponent who everybody thought they was gonna lose to, and he has the guys believing, and he said the only people that matter is the ones that's in this huddle right here. And he said they're gonna go back to work, they're gonna put a game plan together for their next opponent. I didn't know it was Bogey, but he said they're going back to work, they're gonna keep pounding, and they're gonna keep working, and they're gonna keep proving the doubters wrong. And just hearing that and hearing how fired up they was, coming out of Lakewood inspired me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm saying, man, these guys came in with a lot of players hurt and out. And in my head, I'm thinking, I'm looking around at them warming up, and I'm saying, this is going to be a cakewalk for Lakewood. And the game could have went differently, but defense showed up when it needed to, and the offense showed up when it needed to. And they ended up winning that game. And I think they just wanted it more. When it all comes down and it all boils down to it, Largo wanted that game more. And if they play like they did Friday, it could come down to that last few minutes of the game. And again, Largo had the most heart, and they was the ones who came out on top. And it's like, again, both better be ready, because don't take Largo for granted. They have some athletes, and they're going to keep playing until it's 0-0-0 on the clock in the fourth quarter. And so with all that being said, I know that's what everyone's waiting for. With all that being said, man, I hate to go against Bogey, man. I'm going to put a pick 'em on this one. You know what I'm saying? Like Bob Putnam, pick 'em. You know what I'm saying? No prediction yet. No prediction yet.
Yeah, they sour off that last loss because, they definitely sour. So, Bogey, here, this is a pick 'em. What you think, Andy?
Well, me and my friend Tom, when we do the Pasco County picks, we just call it a coin flip because literally it could be a coin flip. And I think this one's even closer than that Lakewood Clearwater game. I think this is like you got a Largo group, and I think what probably they look at or they think about, and they're like everybody's kind of forgetting, is how tight they played Berkeley Prep back in the spring. I think something I was told, I wasn't at the game, but I had a source that was there, and he was just like, Berkeley coming off a state title, you look at them, they're obviously they got the dude, but Largo low on numbers, but something that they always have is just they got athletes, whatever, and maybe they don't have as many of them because we think of back in the day, that last name McCluster. We think of the McClusters and just all these guys that have come through. They still got guys, but just not as many of them. And I think that's where they kind of look at it. They still got that sense of pride, that Packer pride. And I don't think that no matter what we say, we can count them out every week. They're still going to look back at the past and say, we're still those dudes. We're still that program. We've had a lot of great players come through this program. So why are these Pinellas guys doubting us? Why is Royce? Why is Green? What is Andy talking about? Like, why are these guys doubting us? I think it's a coin because Boca Ciega's on the come up. Largo's still holding on to what they've done in the past and continuing that on. I think this can really go. It can go either way.
Definitely. I love it to be a bar. If Largo could get, Largo's secondary. You're talking about there's a young guy, Xavier Edmonds. We got Harris. We have Townsend. We got Barry Williams going up against Kyrie Jenkins, Walter Flournoy, Marty Sullivan. I think it could be a real show, and it could come down to stuff like I say, like special teams. A great chance of some kickoff returns, some punt returns. I think it's going to be a very interesting game, but it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. Bogey has all the talent. They're putting up the numbers. So yeah, I definitely think it's a coin toss. I love Largo, though. They're just one of those teams with spirit, like Osceola and those other guys who you could just never count out. I think a lot of us counted them out because of the low numbers. And of course, Jeremy Thomas being at the helm for the last 3 seasons, I think. You didn't know what you was getting with Xavier Phillips. So I think it was fair because we just didn't know what quite we were getting. But they're showing the grit. They're not giving up any points, a lot of points. So they're definitely doing their thing. And the last game that we have out of our top 10 is number 8 P Park at Golden Gate. Have you seen Golden Gate play, Andy?
I have not seen them play. I do know they had a really good team last year. They lost some transfers with that team, and but in seeing some of the scores, they still look competitive, and I think the thing for them is just kind of with their schedule and some teams they've played already. It's going to be a little different for P Park, and I know they haven't. We go back to the kind of field surface. I've been to Golden Gate High School before, and that's a turf field. Most of the fields down in Collier County, where Golden Gate's at, in the Naples area, they're all turf. So it's going to be a fast game. Wells Park, I mean, they lean on that ground and contact. So I think they're really going to have to, go by time of possession and try to just control the clock.
Definitely. With Pinellas Park, I mean, like I said, I love Caden Nobles. I saw a lot of plays. I say if you guys see him play, he's a speedster, long. Zamir McNeil is showing up. He's pretty much doing what Eric Triplett was going to do. And we have Amari Caro, Casanova's slinging that thing. So I love P Park. Just watching the last couple Golden Gate games, I mean, they've been getting smoked. So their defense obviously ain't, isn't really stopping much. So this might be an opportunity for them to Pinellas Park to really again put some points on the board, which they can do. Their defense is obviously showing up outside of Wayne Cunningham. They got these Vega guys who they're some underrated prospects. So P Park is gonna show up. I love them. They're traveling down fast turf. I think a faster P Park.
Yeah, I just looked up their stuff. Golden Gate lost week 1 against Victory Christian 14-28. Then they turned around and lost to Naples Lely. They lost to them 36-66. So they're 0-2, waiting on the Pinellas Park team to come down and I think Pinellas Park has, like you just mentioned, they have enough talent to test this Golden Gate defense and have them on their heels. So I'm gonna take the Patriots in this one.
Okay. And last thing we got on the show, we only got 2 minutes left. Who you guys like for your player of the week?
Good one. Good question. It's always guys who you least expect. It's always a guy here that has a good game that you don't want to leave out. And just looking back at some of the stats, I can't think of one guy right off the top, but hats off to Largo, man. I'm gonna give it to their whole team, man. They came out and proved the doubters wrong. I know it's supposed to be players, but they went and performed actively on the road, hostile environment, and they showed that they can handle adversity. So,
okay. What about you, Andy? Did you get a chance to scope out anything? Anything pop out to you as far as the players?
Well, I mean, I did come across your feed throughout the day, just seeing. I feel like I get tagged in like a bajillion things, but I saw your stat guys, and somebody that stood out was just Tony. I'm probably gonna butcher his last name. I think Regala. St. Pete Catholic. 173 yards on 21 carries, 3 touchdowns. That's a nice performance. That I mean, really solid performance out of him for the Barons. So to me, just looking at kind of the guys you listed, and really kind of trying to watch out for any guys. Grant Scott was another one from Osceola. I thought he had a nice game. Look forward to seeing him on Thursday night. Sounds like we'll see each other, Royce, at the game, and maybe Green will join us. Maybe. Yeah,
maybe.
Cool. Just wanted to point out to you guys, this young man, Mathis Roberts, showed up big for Gibbs. Of course, Brent Scott. Nasir Hutchinson showed up. Showed up very big for CCC. So want to shout out those guys. My player would probably be right now, Mrs. Hutchinson. He's very underrated for CCC. Kono does not show it. One thing you could do is you could count on the hard running of Mr. Hutchinson, because if Kono wasn't there, he was definitely waiting in the lanes. So I love Nasir Hutchinson as one of the unsung heroes for the season for CCC. Honestly, I really like him at that. So And that's our hour, fellas. Appreciate you guys, man. Week 3 coming up. And yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and end it there, man. That hour goes by fast. So we'll be dropping some stuff during the week. And appreciate everybody, man. See y'all later.
All right, peace.
All right.